The week of Christmas 2025, the US effectively bans foreign drones, including DJI drones, from being released to market moving forward. This is something that has been developing over time for nearly a decade. In this video, we're going to explore the origins of the DJI drone ban, beginning in 2017 when the Army and Navy released memorandums questioning the operational security of DJI products for use within their own departments. And the reason that I share this again, this is all declassified information, is so that you can form your own opinion on whether those initial findings still make sense today, as they have shaped so much of the policy and got us to where we are today. So this is going to be a multi-part series. A lot of this is based on the discussions and feedback that I've seen in the comments, so keep it coming. My name is Abel Acuna with Drones Over Texas. Let's get started. Let's look at this Army memo from 2017, which essentially kicks off a lot of the concerns regarding DJI products. And what I appreciate about this Army memo is that it references two reports, one from the Army Research Lab titled DJI UAS Technology Threat and User Vulnerabilities, and that's from May 2017. That's still classified. And they also cite a Navy memorandum titled Operational Risk with regards to DJI family of products, and that's also from May 2017. We'll be looking at the Navy one, which has been declassified, in just a moment. Background, and now I'm reading directly from the Army memo here, and that is titled Discontinue Use of DJI Corporation Unmanned Aircraft Systems. DJI Unmanned Aircraft Systems, UAS products are the most widely used non-program of record commercial off-the-shelf UAS employed by the Army. In fact, the Army Aviation Engineering Directorate has issued over 300 separate airworthiness releases for DJI products in support of multiple organizations with a variety of mission sets. However, they state, due to increased awareness of cyber vulnerabilities associated with DJI products, it is directed that the U.S. Army halt use of all DJI products. This guidance applies to all DJI UAS and any system that employs DJI electrical components or software, including but not limited to flight computers, cameras, radios, batteries, speed controllers, GPS units, handheld control stations, or devices with DJI software applications installed. The memo then goes on to provide direction: cease all use, uninstall all DJI applications, remove all batteries, storage, media from devices, and secure equipment for follow-on direction. So in 2017, we begin to see initial restrictions against the use of DJI products in this type of military setting and environment, at least with the Army and Navy. Now let's jump over to the Navy memo, which is titled Operational Risk with regards to DJI family of products, and that's from May 24, 2017. On background, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit here, but you can see the text on the screen. It's saying that essentially, in order to train for counter UAS, counter drone tactics, techniques, procedures, it's likely that Navy personnel departments may need to procure these commonly available commercial off-the-shelf drones, the DJI drones, because they are common and low cost. However, the DoD has minimal technical information to thoroughly understand the impact of their use, and they cite the below operational risks, which have been identified. So let's look at those operational risks here. Cyber vulnerabilities. A thorough study of the cyber vulnerabilities of these systems is not available at this time. Additionally, due to the rapidly changing configurations and open nature of the available software, cyber threats will continue to evolve. Of particular concern is the data link between the aircraft and the ground station. While encrypted open source research indicates numerous techniques available to passively view the video and metadata from the air vehicle, as well as assume control over the air vehicle by adversaries. Also, the typical ground control station GCS configuration includes a COTS transmitter, controller, phone, or tablet utilizing Wi-Fi or DJI proprietary light bridge. Open source research indicates when transmitter, controller, tablet, or phone is connected to the web, images, video, and flight records could be uploaded to unsecure servers in other countries via live streaming, or transmitted once the air vehicle is connected to a computer using the DJI Assistant application. Overall, the system should be considered highly vulnerable in the cybersecurity realm and employed accordingly. So essentially, the Navy memo here is saying, while it has not been able to do a thorough investigation of the cyber vulnerabilities of the DJI products, they are citing their concerns and knowledge of kind of the transmission between the aircraft and the ground control the controller, right, to effectively have the drone be taken over or have the transmission of data be captured, which I mean that makes complete sense, right? These are not hardened military drones, so if they are being used in a training environment or in a sensitive area or anything like that, uh, then yeah, that makes a lot of sense there. And they're also stating that once these devices are connected to the internet, that they're also not hardened state systems, and that they could be subject to vulnerabilities once connected to the internet. Which, again, I mean, that all makes sense. Anything you connect to the internet is vulnerable, and anything that has a transmission, right, is going to also have vulnerabilities, especially if it's not a hardened system. The memo goes on to have some recommended mitigations. One, conduct training operations in areas that limit the potential of adversaries to be in reception range of the GCS and air vehicle signals. This makes sense. So don't use this in an area where some bad actor could potentially hack the stream or hack the vehicle. That makes a lot of sense. Use this in a friendly environment. Secondly, conduct training in areas that are not operationally sensitive. This kind of goes along with point number one there, in case any of that information was to be taken or leaked. Third, do not connect the GCS to military network using wired or wireless connections. So yeah, don't plug in this commercial off-the-shelf unvetted unit to a military network. That, I think that's all common sense right now. Next point here, avoid connecting the GCS to the World Wide Web using wired or wireless connections, but if necessary, ensure all images, video, and flight records are deleted from the GCS cache and micro SD cards prior to connection to the web. Yep. Again, this one is essentially saying the same thing, which is like, if you need to connect this to the internet, make sure that you've deleted everything possible from this device, because you don't want that to slip out to the internet. Okay, next, the air vehicle has the capability to store images / video on a micro SD card when installed in the GCS, the air vehicle, or a combination of both. Due to the potential for loss of the air vehicle, operation with the SD card installed is not recommended. The DJI platform can perform all necessary flight functions without the use of recording media. This means both GCS internal media, cache, and external media. So essentially, this is saying don't store media onto the drone that you wouldn't want lost or potentially acquired by the public or potential adversaries. I think that's common sense, and I think it's a good tip. Next, cover the camera when not in use using the plastic gimbal support included in the kit. Okay, so cover the camera lens, that makes sense. And last, do not use personal phones or hotspots to access map data. I think they mean don't access map data within DJI using your personal phone or a hotspot. I'm not really sure about that last part there, but yeah, I think most people know don't use your personal phone or hotspot in any operational setting. All right, next point here, and this is about the electromagnetic capabilities. To date, a thorough investigation of electromagnetic susceptibility has not been conducted on these systems. Therefore, the potential to experience interference is high. Interference can disrupt or preclude operation of the system and potentially loss of control of the air vehicle. So they have not done a thorough investigation of the electromagnetic susceptibility of DJI drones. And because they haven't done that, they can assume that there can be interference and disruption and loss of control of the vehicle. The recommended mitigation points here is one, operation should be conducted with maximum practical standoff distance between the GCS, air vehicle, and other RF transmitters to reduce the potential for unintended interference. And two, closely monitor link quality indications, GPS signal strength to minimize possibility of loss of link. Okay, so yeah, there could be interference, and I assume if you're using the DJI in a drone setting, in a military setting, there's a lot of signals, RF going on. So yeah, you could potentially lose control of the drone. So keep an eye on the signal strength. Good tips all around here. All right, next here, low reliability. While these systems are commonly available, anecdotal evidence demonstrates that they are not highly reliable when employed in typical military environments. Loss of the air vehicle through damage or malfunction should be considered highly probable over time. DJI systems are expendable. That's so funny. They really are, right? And I guess they are now. Yeah, I mean, back in 2017, my Spark was definitely expendable. So yeah, don't send the spark out in a military setting. All right, next, training and support. Now, this section I'm going to paraphrase. You can pause the screen and read it if you like, but this is essentially saying you need to be properly trained, and the DJI system's not going to have much support beyond the spare parts that are included in the system. That's pretty much it. Recommended mitigations: one, ensure that the operators are certified and designated prior to operating systems. Two, commanders should allow the operator to build experience prior to using them in a more complex training scenario. And three, care should be exercised so that you don't destroy them. Because remember, DJI systems are expendable. I love that. All right. I think I'm going to leave it there today. So I'm super curious what you guys think of those two memos. Do you think they hold ground? Do you think they were too broad? Do you think they were just right? Do you think they were sufficient enough to kind of get us to where we are today? There's a lot more that occurred. This was really just 2017. There is a bit left for 2017 that I will get to in the next video here. And that is an intelligence product by Homeland Security. And this is the Special Agent in Charge Intelligence Program, Los Angeles, ICE. So US Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They put out a product citing their own concerns. It's multi-page. It's like 6 pages long. I wanted to save it for the next video. So that's what I have in store for you in the next video as we explore the origins of the DJI drone ban. I invite you to subscribe so you will know when that video hits. And if you are a new drone pilot or you're looking to grow or launch your drone business in 2026, I invite you to check out my live drone training course that's over at Drones Over Texas. It's a ton of fun. I share my 10 years of knowledge of being a drone pilot and building a business around flying drones with you. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I've really appreciated all the engagement that we've had here and I think the constructive conversations we've had in the comments. So keep it coming. I appreciate you guys. Y'all be safe as we head into the New Year's. Adios.